Dun, 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 dun. We are talking Ahsoka episode 7. Was it a filler episode? Or was it a wonderful penultimate moment for the Ahsoka series? Well, listen here on Two Geeks and a Microphone, and we'll talk about it. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Two Geeks and a Microphone show. I am your co-host, Mr. Stephen Boster, along with my one and only, the main man himself, Mr. Michael Shanks. Mike, say hey to everybody.
Good morning to all you geeks out there in Geekdom Land.
All right, everybody, we are here to talk Ahsoka today, and boy, are there mixed reactions from everybody under the sun, plus all kinds of new crazy theories out there. This is going to be an interesting one today, so I am so glad that you guys are all with us. Please make sure when you join us, just say hi in the chat so we can say, hey, right back to you. It's great. I love our interactions from folks in the chat, and so we look forward to having some interesting discussions today. So, Mike, how are things?
Good. I just wanted to say, when you said please make sure and say hi in the chat, because it made me think of something. I listened to another podcast called Lore. And it's kind of horror-ish type stories in history and so on and so forth that could be or could not be true. Really good podcast, really well done too. But anyway, the host Aaron Mankey, at the end of his podcast, he always says, and make sure to say hi. I like it when people say hi. So when you say that, all I hear is Aaron Mankey's.
That up.
Yeah. Hi.
Right.
Make sure you say hi. I like it when people say hi. So yeah, we like it when people say hi too.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that story, because that just gave me, I do have a geekdar for the day. I do have one, actually. So yes.
Well, good. I jarred something in your head.
Jarred some memory thing for you. Yes.
Nice.
So
very
love
cool.
it.
Very cool. All
See,
right.
we just dance on the fly, everybody.
I usually swat flies. I don't dance on them, but I just swat them.
There you go. There's our new T-shirt, dancing on a fly.
Dancing on a fly. Yeah, you won't see us on dancing with the stars.
My wife loves that show. That would be her geekdar. The first episode premiered last week, and she was on it.
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I have no interest in that show.
Unfortunately, it comes on at the same time as Ahsoka. So wah. we had to kind of not argue. I love my wife. We didn't really argue, but we did joke around about who gets the big TV downstairs and who gets the little TV up in the bedroom.
You don't have to watch them at the same time. You could space it apart. I mean,
yeah, but I don't want to watch Dancing with the Stars.
Point taken. So what you're telling me is you watched Ahsoka on the little TV and she watched Dancing in the Stars.
I know nothing.
Come on, we know it's true. Steven got puts down to the little TV. I'm sure of that.
Oh gosh, that's funny. All right, man. Well, let's get this ball rolling. I'm excited for today's show. I got questions for you.
Okay, good. I don't know if I got answers, but we'll see. 42.
Right.
42 words and everything. So we'll go with that. I have no geeky news, so let's jump into the geek jar.
Sounds good.
Go with the radar, sir. What's wrong with it? I've lost the bleeps, I've lost the sweeps, and I've lost the creeps. The what? The what? And the what? You know, the bleeps, the sweeps, And the creeps.
That's not all he's lost.
All right. I got a couple things for Geekdar, and of course
Okay.
they are comic book related. As you know, I am a pretty avid comic book collector, and I frequent my local comic book shop, Fantasy Books, quite often. I have a pull there, and yeah, they kill me sometimes. And a couple weeks ago on Batman Day, Ashley, the manager over there, she's like, "Have you seen this Batman book?" And she pulls out Batman Gargoyle of Gotham.
There is a trailer on YouTube for that.
Yes, there is. We should link that too. But yeah, this is on DC's Black Label, so it's a little more adult. It's a little darker, as the Black Label is, which I enjoy. They've put out some good stuff. We covered the Batman and the Joker, which was also a Black Label series, and we really liked that series.
Okay. I guess I
This
didn't realize that was
particular,
a Black Label series.
yeah,
I know.
um,
I didn't pay attention.
I'm like
not doubting
90%
you.
sure that's Black Label. But
Yeah.
anyhow, this is kind of based on the Robert Pattinson Batman.
Oh.
I mean, I wouldn't say it, it's definitively his, but it
Mhm.
kind of resembles his Batman a lot.
Okay.
So it's kind of cool because it's, his style of Batman in the Batman comic. And like I say, it's a darker story, but so far it's first issue. I enjoy it. It's pretty darn good. So I recommend that Batman Gotham of Gargoyle. It's by Raphael Grandpa. What a great name. And with Matthew Lopez, something like that. I apologize if I got those names wrong. The other one, now I haven't read this one yet, but I'm really excited about this. This is one of the coolest crossovers ever. Okay, since Marvel has now acquired 20th Century Fox, and they got Planet of the Apes, which I plan on doing a review of that series as soon as it's done. But they just put out this one, and oh my gosh, Predator versus Wolverine.
What?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
I mean, you talk about the apex predators of both the movies and comic books, and bam, there you go, Predator versus Wolverine. So
Yeah.
super excited about that. It's a
Who's
crossover.
it's all Wolverine. There's no contest in
You
that.
think? Really? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm a super big fan of Wolverines, and I mean, there's part of me that wants Wolverine to win, of course, because he's technically our hero in this. But at the same time, the Predator's no slouch, man.
Right.
But
I just say
guess
that Wolverine is much more better.
much more better. There you go.
go.
I mean, if then again, if Arnold Schwarzenegger, who's no slouch himself, I love Arnold, but and he's a regular man. Well, a little more than a regular man, but he's like this super duper Marine in the movie, and
Right.
he takes out the Predator. So I guess if he can take out the Predator, Wolverine shouldn't have too much trouble. But like I said, I haven't read the issue, but it looks fantastic, and I am super excited to dig into it. So
Gotcha.
those are my geek dars.
Right on. Well, my geekdar is I have been hooked on a show on YouTube, and it first started off my oldest stepson was sharing a story about crop circles, which are fascinating to me. Just the whole concept of crop circles. Well, there's this YouTube channel called the Why Files. I'll share my screen for a second, and then
At first, I thought you were going to say you watch Signs.
Right. I did watch Signs though, but I have seen that actually.
I do like Signs. Signs is a good movie.
So the Why Files does all kinds of different conspiracy theories, different kinds of things, and gives you kind of the urban legends, but then gives you what facts there are versus what we don't have facts for. They're just kind of correlations, but not really causations kind of stuff. Or, but he's a great storyteller. This guy that does this. Well, the most recent episode that came out this week was the horrors of Plum Island, or the Montauk Monster was another one of it. And it brings up a fascinating how shall I say this? There is a conspiracy theory that really leads you to believe that it really isn't a conspiracy theory. I mean, the evidence is there that Lyme disease was actually a government program
Oh.
with ticks, and it is fascinating. So anyway, let me know, you guys, if you've ever seen the Why Files. They've got 2.7 million subscribers, and it is well done stuff. There's a little goldfish in there that is, it kind of does some comedy stuff and things like that. So, but it is a show. It is really, really good. Just actual video clips, the research that they do, stuff like that. So I've been kind of addicted to that. Kind of, sometimes I'll watch them and sometimes I'll listen to them, like a podcast too. But
Nice.
but it's really fascinating stuff.
Well, that sounds similar to Lore. I mean, Lore's more little more on the horror side, and it's not conspiracy theory, but sounds very similar to Lore, and I think I probably would get into that because I love Lore. Lore is one of my favorite podcasts. So
yeah,
cool.
That's what reminded me of it. So yeah, absolutely. Okay, cool beans.
All right, we ready to move on to some Ahsoka?
Let's do this. Ashoka. It's time for the main event. Right on, everybody. Now, just to know, if you're first joining us for the first time, our whole joke of Ashoka was my wife was just being playful about, what show are we watching? She goes, Ashoka. That was her. So that was fun. It's a fun homage to my beautiful bride. So, all right. Well, Mike, what did you think of this episode?
Okay, I've been dying to find out what you thought of this.
Okay. You want me to give it my score first, and then we can explain later? And what's our score going to be?
Oh, I'm afraid. Oh, yeah. Let's see our score in this one.
Filler episodes. No, I'm just kidding.
Ouch!
I'm teasing.
Oh.
I'm teasing.
How about protocol droids?
Yeah, I'm good with that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there's a reason for that too.
Yeah, I like that.
One of the highlights, as a matter of fact.
Right.
Yeah. So, first watch of this, I did feel a little bit fillerish for the first watch. It did take a second watch to get into it a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
I did like it the second viewing better.
Okay. The second viewing was much more better.
Cheers. There are some highlights. There was a particular cameo that made an appearance that I was geeking out over, going, ooh, doing the whole.
Yeah. I think we've had one of those every single episode.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Which has been fun. Yes.
Yeah, that's great that we've been able to have that each episode. We did get a little more happy-go-lucky Ahsoka slightly in this.
Yes, good call. Mm-hmm.
So that the
character development change. Yeah, good call.
I love her banter back and forth with Huang. Her banter with Huang is great.
Yeah, so, that's I like that. That's a good call. That was great.
more intrigue with Baylan. What in the world is going on with him? You know, what is he hearing? You know,
I
so
have a personal theory, but
okay,
go ahead.
great, great. I want to hear it. I have some thoughts. I'm not 100% sure where we're going with this, but I got kind of an idea.
Mhm.
So overall, I think I would give this 7 protocol droids out of 10. 7.
Okay. Right
Um,
on. I'm
I
right there with
definitely
you.
yeah, I
Same
definitely
score.
can't go up to the 8 on this one. But there was some action in it, and so
Yeah, it was alright.
yeah.
Um, it yes, there was some action in it. Yeah, I'm right there with you on the 7 though. So go ahead, finish up. I'm sorry.
Oh no, that's pretty much all I got on it. I mean, for my
So
non-spoilerific
yeah,
you know kind of
if
view of it.
so here's where I'm at. If you asked me right after the show, I would have told you 6.
Yeah,
Um,
I
the
think
more
you're
I
right.
thought about it though, the more I'm like, I could give it a 7 just from the aspect of, you know, all right, I have to go back on some of my frustrations in the past, but because it is a, 8 episode series, you know, it is interesting storytelling. As a whole, it does fit within the scheme of things. And I was like, well, okay. But it just I loved the previous 2 episodes just seemed to be building like crazy. I was like, "Yeah, this is great." Then the penultimate episode should be just spectacular to lead into the last episode. And I just felt like it was a dud leading into a last episode. I expected the cliffhanger of not a cliffhanger, let me rephrase that. That I expected at the end of this episode would be the, "Oh my goodness, I can't wait to see how they get out of that," or, "I can't wait to see how they close that," the no feeling that the last episode would become the big final battle, like they're there. I am concerned based on this episode of how it was done, that we're not gonna get good answers for us in the last episode. Now,
Oh, I'm gonna tell you right now, we're not. We're
well,
not.
yeah.
It's not happening. There's no way.
I mean, I know they're gonna do a Thrawn movie. I don't expect, I expect Thrawn to I expect them to escape to get back to the thing. If they surprise me, they surprise me, but it's leading all into the whole there's a Thrawn movie or something like that, right?
Right, right. Well, there is a movie coming up, and I don't know when the movie's coming out. But
Nobody does now after the strike.
well, the strike is collectively over now. I mean, at least the
Right.
writer's strike is finished. So they're getting back to work. I don't know if the actors, if because the actors started striking not long after the writers went on strike, because it's the first time in I don't know 40 years or something like that that both unions actually went on strike at the same time. So it was kind of pivotal, I guess.
Mhm.
Um, so I haven't really heard anything about the actor strike. It seems like nobody cares about the actors strike.
Right.
It's just kind of funny, you know. uh, I mean, it might be mean for me to say that, but whatever. It seems like
Yeah.
everybody seems to be more concerned with the writer's strike than they are with the actor's strike. But yeah, the writer's strike. It was announced that they finally came to an agreement and that they're going to be getting back to work. So we should start hearing some rumblings about when things are going to start getting back to normal and so on and so forth. Anyway, the movie though is supposed to be kind of a culmination out of the Ahsoka series, out of the Mandalorian series, out of the Boba Fett series. So we're gonna get Mando season 4 before the movie, and I'm assuming.
Skeleton Crew.
Yeah, I
Um,
see. I don't know if Skeleton Crew is playing into it, and
that's what I heard it was, but
so far I am
I think
not
that was Emergency Awesome was saying that.
okay. So
Um,
far I am just not looking forward to that show. I have not seen anything that's gotten me excited about that show. Not one thing.
Mhm.
which is sad because they're kind of pitching it as Goonies meets Star Wars. Okay. And
Ooh.
I love Goonies,
Ooh.
so
Yeah, I love Goonies too.
I should love this, but yeah, I don't know. Just
Right.
nothing has interested me. Maybe I got to see an official trailer and
My interest level is 2 out of 10 rocky roads. Rocky road? Sorry. Hey, you guys. Sorry, Goonies. You got me thinking about Goonies now. Now I'm down the Goonies rabbit hole, everybody.
my interest level so far is -2. So I just don't care, you know?
Right.
So I have no idea if that's going to play into the movie or not. I don't know, but I know that this season is building up to either season 2 of Ahsoka or to the film. And so that's why I say we're not getting any answers at the end of this at all. I mean, we might get answers to the cargo in the ship, in the Chimera, which I think I
Mhm.
already know the answer to that.
Which is what?
I believe it's the dead Night Sisters.
Okay.
That's what I believe it is. I don't know what else it could be, honestly.
Mhm.
But we've had the night troopers. I believe
Mhm.
that's what they call them, night troopers. We had the
Mhm.
night troopers who were, you know, transporting those caskets,
Coffins. Mhm.
right? And I think that's what they've been doing. I think they've been loading up the cargo with these dead night sisters that they're going to resurrect. And I don't know, are they going to use them as an undead army or
Mhm.
what? Which is going to be pretty fantastic.
Star Wars
Yeah.
zombies. Coming back from our discussion last week. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Death Troopers.
Yep.
Yeah. I
Hey,
got the book. I got the book right here.
yeah, let me ask you this. I'm gonna go on a tangent just for a
Sure.
moment. The one of the questions I had for you was about the night troopers is when we saw them get beat up and shot or whatever, they didn't have the smoke, dust and stuff. So are the night troopers really resurrected or no? In your opinion?
Uh, I still think they are. I still
Okay.
think they're resurrected. I don't know why we're not seeing the green smoke. Could be a budgeting thing, you know. Uh,
Good call.
yeah,
Okay.
it is. It is still television. I know it's Disney, but
Right.
it is still television, and they still have less of a budget than they would if they were doing a movie. All I know is if you look back at this whole series and you look at the budget that Filoni would have had with a film, and just think of what he can do with a movie. So hopefully
Mhm.
that movie is going to be incredible.
Right.
And I'm holding out that it is going to be an incredible film. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think Filoni is still a good storyteller. I think he's dropped the ball a few times this season, or
Really? Okay.
well, I mean, it's just I don't know. It doesn't seem like his storytelling is quite up to what it has been like in the Clone Wars. I think his
Mhm.
Clone Wars storytelling has been a little bit better, but it just could be because he's building towards this film. You know,
Yeah, I think the other part of it is he's doing so much more now
this is true too.
and
This is true.
all, and he's putting his hand into learning directing, the whole directing side of things and producing even more. I mean, it started with Mandalorian even, but I have enjoyed the storytelling overall. I just didn't like this episode
Well,
comparatively speaking.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's bad.
Mhm.
I'm just saying it's been a little slower
Okay,
than and the format's
sure.
different. It's a different format than the
Yeah, it's
Clone
8
Wars.
episodes instead of a 3-episode arc.
Well, not every Clone Wars episode was a 3-episode arc. Some of
That's
them were
true.
just one episode. You got to tell the story quick. You know,
Mhm,
and in this, he doesn't have to tell this. He can draw it out. You know,
mhm,
and that can be good and it can be bad. You know,
mhm,
um, in some instances, I like the story to be drawn out because you get more. I understand that, and you're able to put more details in a drawn out story. But then you go to the problem of, okay, is it too drawn out? Is it are my viewers losing interest? So
mhm.
you have that issue too. Um, and I don't want him to run into that. You
Mhm.
know, I want it to keep going. Hey,
Yeah.
nerdery murdery's in the house.
So you need the exposition.
That's
All
right.
right.
Right. I bet you that's Zig. I'll bet you that's Zig. That sounds like Zig to me. That sounds like Zig right there.
I yield. That was a good
Again,
one.
I'm not saying Ahsoka's been bad. I've enjoyed it.
Right.
I really have. But
Yeah.
I do question, is this whole season is it all just build up? You know?
Mhm.
And that's kind of the way I felt. But
Yeah.
not that I won't rewatch Ahsoka, not that I haven't
Yeah.
enjoyed it, because I have. I mean, I've given it pretty high scores each episode. So
Mhm. Yeah, I will say this. Yup. Yeah, it's Zick. Hey, Zick. How shall I say this? I think another thing that I was disappointed in. I'm going to get to the stuff I really like though. There's stuff I really liked.
good.
Um, but one of the other things was just the Ezra introduction and dynamic has just kind of been a fizzle for me.
I agree.
I don't need my lightsaber thing. I was like, what?
Okay, I got kind of a funny story about that.
Oh yeah,
So
go ahead.
Brendan and I are sitting here watching it, right? And we get to that point, and Ezra or Sabine tries to give Ezra the lightsaber back, and Ezra's like, "I don't need the lightsaber. The Force is my ally." And Brenda looks at me. She goes, "Is he really powerful enough to do that?" I'm like, "Well, I mean, he is a fairly powerful Jedi. You know, we've
Yeah.
seen it in Rebels. I mean, he did get the space whales to shoot him and Thrawn to another galaxy. You know, I'm like,
Mhm.
I don't know, maybe he is, you know, and I'm kind of bragging on him a little bit. And then he gets, Shin Hati just throws him against the side of one of the
Little huts, vehicles, or whatever it is. Yeah,
I was trying to think of something funny to say, but I couldn't come up with anything. But
that's all
anyway,
right.
yeah, it just kind of throws him like a rag down. I'm like, well, that kind of blew my theory out of the water.
Right. I love how
That
he's
was
doing
kind of
force
a
push everywhere. Oofa.
yeah, he did a lot of. I mean, he did some fairly good moves. You know,
Mhm.
actually, the second watching, I was like, yeah, he was a little bit better than I thought the first time,
Mhm.
but still, you know, it's like for him to go, yeah, I don't need, yeah, and you notice he did take a blaster from one of the troopers at one point, like, oh crap, I do need a weapon. I'm not as good as I thought I was.
Right. I'm out of practice.
I think Ezra needs a little training from Ahsoka. And
Mhm.
maybe we'll get that, you know. Maybe Ahsoka will take Ezra. Sabine.
Right.
I like Sabine. Don't get me wrong.
I like Sabine as a warrior.
Right. Me too. I don't like this whole Jedi thing. That was the other funny thing. Sabine tells Ezra that Ahsoka takes her on as her apprentice, and Ezra goes, "Really?" I was like, "Wow, Ezra and I are on the same
Right.
page," because he went,
Right.
"Where the heck did that come from?"
Ezra would be good at cinema sins.
I was just like, "Yeah, that's the way I feel, Ezra." Really?
Right. Yeah.
Why? Oh, I'm sorry. Well, of course. You did do a little training when I was training. Yeah, a little.
Right.
And you were training for the dark saber, not for Jedi.
Yeah.
So anyway, I won't go off on that too much, but yeah, that's I thought that was funny. That was a good reaction. Probably Ezra's best reaction since he's came back, honestly. That yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. So let me ask you this. What was your favorite part of the episode?
Okay. I'll tell you my favorite part, but before I do,
Yeah.
I got to play something.
Okay.
All right.
You are listening to Mike and Stephen on Two Geeks and a Microphone. Welcome to the Geekdom.
And that would be my favorite part.
Right on. Okay. Let's talk about all that.
So at the beginning with the council, and the council is berating Hera, for
Mhm.
going against orders, so on and so forth. Which,
Yeah.
I think that's a very rebellious and Star Wars type of thing to do.
Mhm.
I like
Mhm.
that of Hera. That
Mhm.
that is an aspect of this that I like very much, where she's, I don't agree with the council. We get that alter Star Wars, you
Right.
know. We got that with Qui-Gon Jinn. They didn't agree with the Jedi Council. We got it with Anakin. Anakin was kind of at odds with the Jedi Council.
Mhm.
Um, you know, there are times when in certain stories where Luke kind of goes against the grain, and so I think it's a very Star Warsy thing to do, and I was very pleased with that. But then all of a sudden we hear a particular voice, and I did the whole yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
because it's the first time we've seen 3PO in any of the Star Wars shows, since the Disney Plus takeover, I guess, whatever.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
This
I
is
don't
the
think I
first
realized that.
Yeah, this is the first time C3PO has appeared. And of course, as always, it is Sir Anthony Daniel, or yeah, he's a sir, isn't he?
Mhm. Yep.
I
I
think
believe so.
Sir Anthony Daniels, Anthony, not Anthony. You got to say it right. He doesn't like it when people say Anthony. But yeah, Sir Anthony Daniels is in the golden suit, as always, as he should be. It is amazing that man still fits in the costume. I Wow. It just blows my mind. He's still so thin and so fit as he was back in 1970, whatever, 76, 75, when they started filming Star Wars. It's just amazing. But yeah, to hear his voice and to see him all, nice and beautiful gold, it was great. I loved it. That was probably my favorite moment of the entire episode.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I did enjoy the political intrigue of it. I mean, come on. We all know that one guy on the council is all in he's a remnant imperial, I'm sure, or imperial remnant. Nice. Let's start C3PO on your phone.
Yep, I put him on my background.
That's funny.
I saw the poster came out, the digital poster came out, and I was like, "Oh, I got to put that as a background." I like that one. Cool. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's okay. I was just saying, we all know that other guy on the Senate council there is totally Imperial remnant kind of guy. Has to
Well,
be.
no, I don't think he's an Imperial remnant. I think he's just a jerk. I got a few other words I want to call him, but we try to be a
Right.
family friendly show, so I'm not gonna
Yeah.
spew
But
that
it
out.
is a good tension creator character.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Every time my wife and I are watching something and the bad guy comes on and she's like, "I hate him," and I always laugh at her, going, "You're supposed to." And it usually doesn't bother me. This guy, yeah, I feel the way she feels normally. It's like, "Oh, I
Yeah.
hate this guy. I want somebody to take him out. I don't like him."
Right.
I mean,
Zig.
he sucks. He does come from what was the other Star Wars animation? The one I watched one episode and never watched it again because I hated it. Gosh, I can't even think of what that thing was called. But he comes from that.
Okay.
His character was, yeah, his character and his son's character. His son's character was like a primary character in that series. So and they're kind of making a big deal over him. It's like no one cares about this guy. Nobody.
Right.
Even fans of that show, I don't think care about this guy. Oh gosh. Somebody posted a meme the other day. I almost shared this on our Facebook, but I decided it might be a little too dark. But I'm going to share it here.
Two Geeks
you know this,
exclusive.
you know the scene in The Force Awakens when the super giant Death Star, whatever the hell they called that thing, Death Star. When that's destroying the planets, it destroys like, I don't know, 6 planets at once or whatever. Because of course we got to make it bigger and better than the Death Star. But anyway, and you see as it's firing on the one planet, you see the reactions of the people just before the explosion.
Right.
Somebody posted that picture and they said, I hope Senator Ziona went to work that day. I was like, yep,
Yeah.
I kind of feel that way too.
Yeah. That's such a weird scene in that movie. But anyway, let's not talk about that.
Right.
Okay. So now, I really agree with you. You brought this up at the beginning. My favorite part, it really has to do with the mystery surrounding Baylan Skoll.
Yes.
Every episode, I just want more of him.
Okay. So you said you have a theory.
Yeah. So my theory is real brief. It's nothing major.
Okay.
But I think it's the sun calling him.
Okay.
And part of the reason I have for that is in the Mortis trilogy, the sun turns into a creature. The winged creature. We saw that creature for half a second.
Yes, I pointed that out in a previous episode.
Yes. Yeah. And so that discussion that you brought up has led me to believe that I think it's the sun.
Interesting.
And because then we've introduced Anakin, and come on, we're going to get more of them. Somehow, some way through the whole series, we're going to get more of them. I don't know how.
There's a rumor, and I've seen 2 postings about this. So I'm hoping it's going to, I posted this too. But I posted, please let this be true. Please let this be true. But there's a rumor that both Hayden Christensen and the actress that plays young Ahsoka are interested in doing a series together, and so we could possibly get a
like live action
live action Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Try again.
Oh, Siri, shut up.
Sorry, there's something wrong.
Oh my
Please
gosh.
try again.
Okay, so
Siri, you're annoying.
Yeah, Troy named his Amazon. I don't got to say the word because I have mine right behind me. That Darth Vader is an Alexa. Yeah, it's almost turned on there.
Ours is Echo in here.
Yeah,
But then of course I'm on a MacBook and I got Siri too.
I think Troy renamed his Ziggy. I think Ziggy was an option or something like that, but to keep it from doing that. So
we wanted to do. Oh wait, Ziggy? Can you do Ziggy?
I think it's Ziggy.
Oh, that must be a new one. See, we wanted what was it? DC's their computer.
Gideon.
Yeah, we wanted Gideon is what we wanted, but you can't name it whatever you want.
I know that'd been cool though.
Oh, that would have been really awesome to make it Gideon. I would have loved it. Yeah.
So anyway, point being is the
squirrel.
I know, big fat squirrel kind of a thing. Sorry, I looked out my window, everybody. I'm a little distracted because there's a hot air balloon out my window. And there are hot air balloons that go out on Saturday mornings out here in Bozeman, but they land sometimes in the park in our neighborhood. Kind of a thing.
Hot air balloons or are they UFOs?
Right.
Steven seeing aliens. Anyway, get on with your theory.
So I say it's the sun, just because of that. Because the thing with I believe that what we now see with Hayden Christensen as whether it be Anakin World Between Worlds or whatever, I think we've got an Anakin that is now more of a cosmic force, like bigger than just being in the Star Wars universe or just in our Star Wars realm, but now even much so on the next level, for lack of a better term. I don't know how to express it, but on a different realm, a different
the
plane.
chosen one.
the chosen one. And I think it would be really interesting if they flesh that out even more, which I think they are. I'm very excited to see more about this world between worlds and what all that entails. I loved Hayden Christensen being in the episode of Ahsoka. I love the interaction, the dynamics of how they did that. The ability, he's not just a Force ghost, because his ability to take Ahsoka to different times and places to be training, kind of a thing, which is fascinating. So I think there's a juxtaposition or a rhyming, as George Lucas would say.
It's like poetry. It rhymes.
Yeah. Imagine, if you would, that you have Ahsoka and Anakin juxtaposed against Baylan and the Son would be really cool. Now, I know the whole thing about the actor and stuff, but I wonder if that's where it could have gone.
Ooh, I would like that a lot. Oh my gosh, Anakin, Ahsoka fighting side by side against Baylan and the Son. Oh man, that just sounds like a great. Oh, Steven. Hey, Disney.
Right. So that's just where my brain was at.
We do want a little bit of residuals from that idea.
Yeah, right. So, I mean, I'm not saying it is, or I mean, yes, I would like that. I don't have any good evidence for that theory. Only from the creature.
Could we put that on the Steven wish list?
We put it on the Steven wish
list.
That's correct. Yes. Yeah.
Because I had General Skywalker, General Anakin Skywalker in the Clone Wars armor.
And you got it.
I got it. That came up on my.
Mm-hmm.
That was on my Ahsoka wish list.
I have to say right now that episode is my favorite of them, all of them.
Gosh, that was. Hands down, that's the best episode. It is.
It's the best for me personally, as I stated then. It's the best Star Wars.
I don't know if I go as far as to say best Star Wars.
Oh, it's better than Empire Strikes Back. Sorry, everybody, I couldn't resist.
We wouldn't have Ahsoka if there was no Empire Strikes Back. So. Ahsoka wouldn't exist.
I do think, but speaking of Empire Strikes Back, I do think that's what kind of ending we will get.
I think we're gearing up for an Empire Strikes Back ending. Type of ending, I should say.
Yeah, type of ending. Yes.
We're not going to get the. We're not going to get the. No, I am your father. We're not going to get that.
No.
Search your feelings. You know it be true.
Yeah.
We're not going to get that, but we're going to get the bad guys are in the almost winning position, and the good guys are in a position of, are we going to be able to get out of this mess?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean by an Empire Strikes Back ending, because that's kind of where we ended with Empire.
Yeah, I first thought they would get left behind and then they would get a Purgle to take them over, but I'm like, they've already done that, kind of a thing. So.
Right. I think they're getting back some other way. Somebody threw out maybe they're gonna hide on the Chimera, kind of like the Millennium Falcon hid on the side of one of the Star Destroyers.
Oh, right.
Which is a great scene, by the way, but that's where Boba Fett tracks him down, goes right after him down to Cloud City and just, whatever. So I don't think that's going to happen, but, I don't know. Maybe they are going to sneak on the Chimera and get on there.
Yep.
Now, what I want to know, so when Baylan came into this, Thrawn had no idea Baylan was there. And then Thrawn knows who Baylan is. And then it almost feels like whatever Thrawn's plan is, Thrawn immediately pivots to using Baylan in that plan. But yet, by the end of this episode, we get Baylan, bailing.
Right.
For a lack of a better term.
Right.
He kind of bails on everybody. He takes off. And Thrawn's just like, that's unfortunate. Doing the whole Thrawn thing, This is not exactly as I had planned, but
Mhm.
we will rethink our plans and anyway.
Right. I think he's just an incredible strategist.
Oh
So,
yeah, I
in
agree.
other words, he's always got different plans if different results occurred. Whereas he probably didn't plan on what Baylan did, but yet he has accounted for it,
Gotcha.
kind of the thing.
In other
I
words, he has a plan A, B, and C.
I did find it odd that Baylan was so ready and willing to separate ways with Shin Hati.
I
That
didn't
seemed sudden to me. Okay, help me understand that. Why for
because
you
I
didn't?
called it last week. Last week when Brenda and I were watching it, I told her, I says, Shin and Balin, they have different goals.
Correct.
And Shin is she is too quick to her anger. You know, she's seeking power. And I don't believe Balin is seeking power per se. He's seeking something else. And he says that. He's like, no, 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 no. We want something greater than just mere power. That's
Mhm.
what's gotten everybody into this mess, you know. So I told her, I says, no, I think they are going to part ways. I think they're going to part ways. So I actually did not find it a surprise at all. And I know a lot of people out there are going, I can't believe that he just, told her to leave. I do. I believe it. Because I think his intentions are different than hers.
Mhm. Well, at the same time, it's a nice thing, and I've taught you everything you need to move forward in the direction where you want to go. That's interesting because the
But
Jedi were always like, "No, you got to do this in order to be like this."
But he
And
obviously did not want her to go in that direction because he said, "I trained you to be more.
Mhm.
I
Which
trained you."
is so intriguing,
Yeah.
so intriguing.
So I think we're getting a version of we're kind of getting this um amalgamated version of both Luke Skywalker and Sabaoth in the heir to the Empire in Balin. I think they're kind of combined in this.
Interesting.
Um, and I say that because okay, so in Heir to the Empire, in the original Heir to the Empire book,
Mhm.
Luke is being called. He is being called, and the whole time he is being called by Sabaoth because Sabaoth wants to draw in Luke because he knows that Luke, you know, Luke has the Force. He is a practicing Jedi. He also knows that Luke and Leia are sisters, and Leia is at that point pregnant with the twins, Jason and Jaina. And so Sabaoth's ultimate goal is to get all four of those Jedi. And he wants to train them in the dark arts, basically, as dark Jedi is what he wants to do. Um, but the whole time Luke has this calling, and it's almost the same thing as when he's being called to Dagobah, for Yoda, but this time it's Sabaoth. And he
Mm.
goes to Sabaoth and he takes on some of Sabaoth's training because he really doesn't understand who Sabaoth is. So I kind of think we're getting amalgamation of both of them into one character in this, where in a way Balin already is Sabaoth, but yet he's the one that's being called to whatever this is, which, like you said, could be the sun. And I like that idea. I think that's pretty neat. So I think that's where we're getting some pieces of the original Heir to the Empire story, because we're obviously not getting Heir to the Empire. I wish we would, but it kind of can't happen now.
Yeah.
But
Mara
Filoni's
Jade,
good at
Mara Jade,
yes,
Mara Jade. Sorry.
yes. I want Mara Jade so bad. Oh my gosh.
Ooh, could you imagine the adventures of Luke and Mara Jade series?
Oh man, yeah, I can imagine it. I've read the books.
Right.
I've read most of them anyway, and I love them. I love them. Mara Jade's one of my absolute favorite characters. So, Yeah, I want Mara Jade, and I still believe Mara Jade could help fix The Last Jedi. But I don't think we're getting her. I think they've passed on the Mara Jade thing. I could be wrong. It could happen somewhere. But the problem is Mara Jade definitely will not happen in the fashion I want her to. I want her to be Luke's bride, and that's just not going to happen. So
It would fix curmudgeon Luke. How Luke could go be curmudgeon.
yes, it fixes. I think I could enjoy Last Jedi if we had Mara's story and her ending, and and she is killed, and that's the reason Luke is so curmudgeon and
Right.
angry,
Jaded and
jaded,
yes.
and he would no longer be Jake Skywalker; he'd be Luke Skywalker again. It's Mark Hamill's words, not mine. Not mine.
Excuse me. Yes. That's funny.
I just like to embrace those words. That's all.
So let me ask you this, with Baylan in the fight with Ahsoka, which I really enjoyed actually. But one of the things that kind of threw me off was sorry, everyone, I just got distracted
by Zig.
By Zig.
You putting it up? Okay.
Yeah. Jake Ahsoka,
attorney at law. Dum dum.
Oh my gosh.
I love it.
Everybody, if you love that, you'll love Nerdery and Murdery.
Speaking of Nerdery and Murdery, they will be returning to Two Geeks and a Microphone at the end of October. Stay tuned.
It'd be great. How did you feel, or what were your opinions, on the whole thing that you can't beat me? Like, you can't defeat me.
With Baylan?
Mm-hmm.
Actually,
Ahsoka.
I think Baylan is more powerful than Ahsoka. And I think she knows it too. Mm-hmm. Because she doesn't like come back at him. She just says, maybe not. But, and then beep, beep, beep.
Yeah, the ship comes in.
Distracts him, you know. That was great. That was an awesome scene, I loved it. I'm okay.
It was a great scene.
I'm okay with it. I don't have a problem with Ahsoka not being all powerful. I don't think she's like the most powerful Jedi out there or anything. And I think it'd be wrong to make her the most powerful Jedi. I think Ahsoka is powerful, and she's very talented and very smart, cunning, but is she like the most powerful Jedi? No, she's nowhere near it.
Well, I think it's always good to have an antagonist who always seems more powerful than the hero.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh man, are they going to make it through this? Or because once he said that, I'm like, uh-oh, he's going to do that move again or something. You know what I mean? I'm like, it's like,
no, they weren't going to do that a second time. I liked what they did. I thought it was good.
It was good.
That was one of the things that actually amped up the episode a little bit and made it a little bit, a little less filler and, a little more exciting. So on and so forth.
Yeah. So I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that scene. I did think we would get some kind of answer in this episode of what Baylan was searching for. I'm like, man, we got to wait another episode. Kind of a thing.
And then I'm afraid, are we even going to find out in the next episode?
If we don't, that will be very upsetting.
And then, of course,
because you've asked the question, and you've led to the question in almost every single episode of the last last 4 or 5 episodes or whatever. And I'm thinking, if something calls to him, they finally made it to planet, something calls to him. He keeps saying that, and if we don't get it, that's going to be just such a weird storytelling framework thing. I mean, I'm all for, hey, they do this really cool reveal and then you don't know what's going to happen next. I'm okay with that.
Well, we may get that because, Ray Stevenson has passed away and we have no idea what their plans are for the character once this is done. I mean, I honestly want to see the character go on.
I do too.
I think he's the most intriguing character. Honestly, I think he has been the most intriguing character in all of new Star Wars.
Okay.
Since Star
Okay.
Wars has been reintroduced under the Disney banner, I've had more interest in this character than anyone they've created yet. A lot of mystique behind him. Who is he? You know, he has a gravitas about him. You know,
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that British, that English, kind of uh I don't know, almost a royal feel to him,
Mhm.
he feels like he's been very important in the Star Wars history. And I want to
Mhm.
know why. Who is he? What has he done? He knows who Anakin is. He knows that Anakin became Vader. I love that. He knows about the Jedi, the Jedi fall. He knows well, and he has an admiration for the Jedi Order, but at the same time, he's he has this angst towards it too. And
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
all that stuff intrigues me. It's
It's
great.
very
That's
intriguing. Yes.
good storytelling, but
Yep.
you gotta pay off on it. You have to pay off on it, and unfortunately,
Yes.
he's passed away, so how do we pay off on it? That's
Mhm.
the big question. How does it
Yeah.
how do we get paid off on that?
Yeah. Yeah. It will be interesting to see what happens. Tuesday's gonna be
Ah.
great.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking forward to Tuesday. Can we just
Yeah.
fast forward to Tuesday?
Right? It'll be here before you know it.
Let's skip over Monday.
Right?
We can finish Saturday and Sunday. I'm fine with that, but let's just skip Monday and go straight to Tuesday. Tuesday, what is it? 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock? Whatever.
Right.
Just skip right to that,
That would be great. I
and
think
then we'll skip back. We'll skip to next Saturday for our next episode. Then.
right. She's like, "Yay!" It's been a good ride, though. I tell you what. Overall, before we get into the into the finale, the season finale, overall, what have your impressions been on Ahsoka?
Um. Okay. I really love Rosaria Dawson. I think she has been a
Okay.
fantastic Ahsoka. Um. I struggled a little in the beginning
Yep.
with Grumpy Ahsoka, but
Ahsoka the Gray.
Ahsoka the Gray. But I think once we got to Ahsoka the White, I was much more
Yeah.
comfortable.
Ahsoka
And
the Gray mood, and now Ahsoka the White mood.
almost, yeah, curmudgeon Ahsoka.
Right.
But I get the idea behind it. I get she's been jaded by what has happened to her, and the Jedi Council more or less betraying her, and
Mhm.
all that stuff. I get it. I get it. And not to mention you see what Anakin has become, and you know y- she's seen a lot, and so I have to take all that in consideration. But at the end of the day, I do want to see her smiling face, and we've gotten that several times now, and it makes me happy. Um, White Ahsoka the White makes me happy.
Yeah.
Love that. I love the Anakin Skywalker scenes. They're just
Mm,
fantastic.
they're great.
Um, it makes me nostalgic for some of the prequel stuff. And I know Hayden Christensen gets some hate, and I think all that's going away. I think a lot of people realize that he was a lot better than what they thought he was back in the day. Um,
Mhm.
and I think he's getting more love, and I'm really happy about that. And just to see General Skywalker in live action, it's just blows my mind. It's something I've wanted for a long time. Now I want General Skywalker, I want General Kenobi, and I want Ahsoka, all of them fighting side by side with Captain Rex.
That
Give it
would
to me.
yeah.
Come on, we can do it. You got all the pieces. Just put the puzzle together and let's do this thing. You know,
Yeah.
come on. Every fan out there would love to see this happen. Just do it.
Yeah.
There's no reason to wait anymore. So overall, I've enjoyed the series. I think it has been a very good series. Um, a lot of people have some people have put it over the Mandalorian. I don't know if I can quite put it over the Mandalorian because
Oh,
I think the Mandalorian was
the
such an original idea and so
well,
cool.
I I would give the Mandalorian a space western
Oh,
and
yeah.
Ahsoka a space samurai story.
Oh yeah, yeah. I agree. I'm just
Um,
saying, in ratings, I still might put Mandalorian season 1 and 2 just slightly above Ahsoka.
okay.
Just slightly. Not much, you know.
Mhm.
Um, but I've really enjoyed this series. I think it's good. I think it's a really good series. And I think it's going to be even better once we get the full picture.
Mm.
I think we're going to need the entire picture to fill it out. And
Yeah, this is a piece of a larger puzzle is what you're
right,
saying.
right, exactly.
Okay. Okay. I am intrigued though. As far as the storytelling standpoint, I am intrigued and I'm looking forward
Oh yeah, yeah, me too.
to it. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
In Filoni we trust, right?
Yeah.
Not trying to be sacrilegious.
It would be cool. Okay, so real quick, we'll wrap up the show with what we would enjoy seeing or things that we may like to see in the final episode. So, um, I would like to see if we don't see the sun, like let's say what's calling to him is the sun, but only in that big bat form. Okay.
Okay.
And let's say that what he's drawing him to is a portal to the world between worlds, for example.
Okay. All right.
Then, but what if we saw Ahsoka and then the owl? So
yeah, I don't think we've gotten the owl, have we?
we have not gotten the owl, which I've been surprised.
And the owl, that was the sister, if I remember. Well,
Sort of.
yeah, because some people have even equated it to Ahsoka. So I don't know. But yeah, we haven't gotten the owl. We've seen
Mhm.
wolves. We've seen wolves.
We've seen wolves.
Definitely seen wolves.
So I mean, we're getting all this Mortis trilogy stuff, and in this series, so that's why I keep leading to it. So I would love to see that. I do want to see the owl. That would be great to see. And I do want to find out more about Baylan.
Me too.
I really would like to see that. Obviously, they're going to get back. They're going to get in the thing and go back.
Do you think that Shin will join our heroes?
No, I don't.
You don't? Okay.
Okay. Nope, I don't. I think the Shin will. The next phase for Shin will be. Well, I wonder. This is just. I have no evidence for this.
Okay, it's okay. Throw out a theory. Go ahead.
But
You can
would
do
it be interesting if she was partial witch? Because she was like, "Oh, you're a witch. You're a witch."
I've
Only
heard
to
thoughts of
find out that maybe because then her new master apprentice situation would be Elsbeth.
that could be interesting. I've heard it thrown out that some people are like, I think she is part Night Sister because she is so repulsed by every time witches. They're witches,
Right. It just
and-
it lead into when he said, you are something more. I trained you to be something more.
right.
And I thought, gosh, could you imagine the Force with Night Sister magic? Both.
Oh man, yeah. That could be interesting. I think she could turn into a formidable villain at that point. Because right now, I don't think she's all that powerful.
But I see it just like Ahsoka.
Right. Yeah.
Ahsoka's beginning in the Clone Wars movie.
Oh. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And so then that's where I see her place. That's her beginning, and now we're going to see what a great villain arc that could become for her. Okay, go ahead with yours.
I forgot. There was one other favorite part. Ahsoka training to Anakin's tapes, Anakin's recordings.
Oh, Oh yes,
That was fantastic. Oh,
right.
loved it.
How
And
how many were there?
how many what?
Recordings, like 20
Oh,
something or whatever.
she said he recorded 20 more. So there's 21 altogether. So I hope to I hope to goodness that Filoni he's filmed all 20 all 21 because I want to see the other 20.
Right.
Even
Yep.
if they're just extras somewhere, I want to watch them, you know. I I I
Yeah.
I love that. I thought it was great. And hearing Anakin talk about Count Dooku, Asajj Ventress, General Grievous, it was like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, could you imagine getting all of those, especially Asajj Ventress? I mean, yeah, we've had Dooku and Grievous live action, of course, in Revenge of the Sith, but could you imagine? I've always wanted a live action Asajj Ventress, and Ahsoka versus Asajj Ventress. That would be freaking amazing, man. Oh,
Yeah.
so cool. Although I know at this point in the timeline, I believe Asajj is dead, but who's to say? We could have some kind of flashback. I don't care. Just give me Asajj Ventress versus Ahsoka. Another thing for my wish list.
There you go. I love it. Anything else you want to see happen in the finale? Any expectations or anything?
I just want this. I want some kind of incredible. I know it's going to be a cliffhanger, and I'm fine with the cliffhanger, but I want it to be something pretty mind blowing. You know, I want something. I don't know. I just I don't want us to be left off with, oh, that's the end, huh? No, I want us to be left off going, I want more. I want. Is the next season of Ahsoka started yet? That's
Right.
what I
Right.
want. That's what I
Okay.
want. Or something leading into season 4 of Mandalorian, or something to that, where we all go, and just drop our jaws. That's what I'm wanting. So,
Mhm.
and I think that's what we need. We need that. And that's the kind of Star Wars George Lucas would have wanted too. You know, George Lucas, he was a fan of the serials. And when he was a kid, he loved to go to the movie theaters and watch the serials, and you get the cliffhanger at the end, and you have to come back the next week to see if the hero uh, escapes the train, escapes from the train on the tracks and all that kind of stuff. That was what Lucas was a fan of, and I want that moment. I want that moment next week. So that's what I want.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right. Woo! All right, everybody. Please let us know how you felt about the latest Ahsoka episode 7, the penultimate episode. So looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say about it. Please let us know in the comments, and we would love to respond back to you. And whew, so next week is it. What a journey. What a journey. I can say
Yeah,
that
no kidding.
at
Wow.
ease. Yeah.
Wow.
Very much so. Well, hey, everybody, thanks so much for joining us here for our episode of Two Geeks and a Microphone. One of the things we just really appreciate you hanging out with us on this episode. Please check out our website. Our website is twogeeksmike.com, twogeeksmike.com. That's the number 2, GEEKSMIC.com. Mike's laughing because we kind of took that from Three Geeky Dads in their website. The number
We don't do it as
3.
well as he did, because
We
I
don't.
wasn't prepared and I didn't go the number 2.
Right. But there you can find all things Two Geeks. You can especially get to our merch page. Our merch page is this long thing that's on the screen right now. But it's just easier to go to twogeeksmike.com and click the links there. If you want to help support us for the show, we would greatly appreciate it. All the funds, everything goes to help pay for the podcast and the streaming and all the other things that we need. But that's at ko-fi.com, kofi.com/2geeks. Great site. We enjoy that there. And then if you want to reach out to us, feel free to shoot us an email at show@twogeeksmike.com. Or we do have some that reach out to us through Facebook as well. And Mike is really good about being on top of that. So with that being said, Mike, anything else for today?
Speaking of Facebook and YouTube for that matter, make sure and go like and subscribe to us both on Facebook and YouTube. The more you especially like our videos, because the more you like the videos, the more they get seen by other people, and we want to be seen by other people and just grow the channel. Facebook is we got a lot of new subscribers to Facebook this past week, and just a big welcome to anyone who may be watching who just joined us on Facebook. We appreciate you being there. Please make sure and interact on there. I threw up an interesting question today, and if you guys would go look at it and give me your responses, I think it'd be great. It's about what if the Joker had been transformed permanently to the Marvel universe? What Marvel character would he obsess over? So far I got one response, but I'd love to see some responses to that. I think that would be I think that's an incredible topic on its own. Shoot, I think we could turn that into an episode possibly.
Yep.
Anyway, so make sure and go like us and subscribe to us on both Facebook and YouTube.
Yep.
We can use that.
The biggest thing I want to encourage everybody about is that we have so enjoyed one of the biggest blessings about us doing the podcast has been the community, the people that we've met. And so that's why we really encourage to like and subscribe and give us the thumbs up, because it's not really about, oh, we want to be seen by a whole bunch of people. It's like we are enjoying getting to meet new people all over the world.
Oh yeah, and we've made friends with Nerdery and Murdery and Three Geeky Dads and Andrew Staples of the Escape Pod, and I've made a great friend in John Keller, who we've had on the podcast in the past, and you know, and I talk with a lot of them regularly through Facebook and stuff. We interact all the time, and yeah, that's one of the blessings of this podcast. It really is.
Yeah. We want to meet you and we want to meet others. So that's been the great thing about it. All right. Well, Mike, anything else?
Just that tune in next week for our final episode on Ahsoka season 1, and watch out for October. We got a whole lot planned for that. And with that said, over and out, and I have spoken. Thank you for joining us today on the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast. Tune in next week when we will have more news and reviews. Until then,
may the Force be with you.